Good afternoon, Chairman Birdwell and members of the committee. Health means wealth. My name is Crystal Ngoll. I am the Environmental Justice Coordinator at Air Alliance Houston. Personally, I'm an avid hiker and a proud Houstonian who today is really struggling with asthma. Many who spoke before me have already provided the health facts, summarizing their findings in numbers and graphs, but as you mentioned earlier, Senator Blanco, you wanted a face to reflect those charts. I'm here. I will share how I am personally impacted by the air pollution that permeates the state I call home. Growing up in Houston, I've always had my inhaler. It was worse as a child, but as I got older, I was able to manage and cope with the pollution, though I didn't realize it at the time. I was constantly trying to catch my breath, which I also recently realized is not normal. Fast forward, I leave Texas for college and return 6 years later. To my surprise, when I returned last summer, I had to visit the doctor because I started having health issues or breathing issues. This morning, I shared with a colleague that I hadn't needed my inhaler recently, but when I arrived in Houston, my heart started racing. I panicked because I was struggling to catch my breath. And I'm a fairly healthy person. I mentioned earlier that I'm a hiker. I actually hiked a volcano that took 13 hours round trip. So how can it be that I'm wiped out from just sitting? Why can't I breathe in my home state? This isn't just a personal issue, it's a community issue. There's a clear correlation that it's my environment causing these respiratory responses. And when I say community, I mean this entire room is my community. Last year's Sunset Review widely highlighted that TCEQ, our state environmental regulators, are reluctant to regulate effectively. They fail to account for the cumulative health impacts that industrial facilities have on fence-line communities. Because of these known facts and reputations, we need the EPA. These pollutants know no boundaries. It affects everyone in this room, and we need these federal regulations to keep our air clean and our community safe. We're Texans, aren't we? Why aren't we taking care of our neighbors? Yesterday, the Houston Chronicle published a startling story about the high levels of hydrogen sulfide in Odessa, right next to schools and homes. I also invite you to join us on a toxic tour that Air Alliance offers so we can visit the refineries, chemical plants, and concrete batch plants, also next to homes, schools, and places of worship. Everyone in this room should be concerned about the health and safety of Texans and your own health. Lastly, y'all mentioned economic benefit. Well, I'm only 26. I just barely reached the age to rent a car. But I'm also just starting to contribute to the economy. Health equals wealth. We can have economic growth. We lose money when people are sick. Please prioritize mine and the future generation's health so we can contribute to the economy. Remember, pollution impacts your lives too because air is not stagnant. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for considering my testimony.